Top 10 cocoa producing countries in the world. Welcome to the Explore and thanks for watching. In this video, we will be bringing you the top 10 cocoa producing countries in the world. Cocoa beans were first brought over to Europe by Christopher Columbus and then later Hernan Cortes, who gave samples of cacao to King Charles of Spain in 1528. Most of the world's cocoa is grown in a narrow belt, give or take, of around 20 degrees either side of the equator, as it offers the perfect conditions for growing cocoa. The cocoa tree needs high temperatures, humid conditions, and plenty of rainfall to grow successfully. For these reasons, cocoa is produced predominantly in the hot and humid regions of Africa, Asia, Central and South America, and Australia. Cocoa was first harvested in what is today Central America. Soon, though it became popular around the world, it is now produced in many regions worldwide, with some countries making more production from it. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Nations across 4 continents make the top 10, with 4 of the top 5 nations found in Africa. Cocoa beans are of different types of characteristics depending on where they come from. So without any further delay, here are the top 10 cocoa producing countries in the world. Number 10. Colombia, 56,808 tons per annum. Colombia is a country located in the north of South America, with a population of 48.2 million people spread over a total of 1,141,748 square kilometers. The economy of Colombia is predominantly fueled by science and technology, infrastructure and agriculture. One of the most cultivated crops in Colombia is cocoa, which is amongst the most exported products that contribute to $355.163 billion yearly as a GDP. Colombia is the 10th largest cocoa producer in the world, yielding 56,808 tons of cocoa, grown on over 200,000 hectares of land. The industry supports the livelihoods of 50,000 farmers that each cultivate an average of 3.5 hectares. The country also produces some of the finest cocoa beans in the world, and they are mostly grown by the highly sought after Crillio and Trinitario varieties. It is grown in the regions of Santander, the north of Antioquia, and the south of Córdoba. Number 9. Dominican Republic, 86,599 tons per annum. The Dominican Republic is a country located on the island of Hispaniola in the Greater Antilles archipelago of the Caribbean region. The Dominican Republic is the second largest nation in the Antilles by area, after Cuba at 48,671 square kilometers, and third by population with approximately 10.5 million people, of whom approximately 3.3 million live in the metropolitan area of Santo Domingo, the capital city. The Dominican Republic is the largest cocoa producer in the Caribbean, with 86,599 tons in 2017, and is a leader in sustainable, fair trade and organic cocoa. The cocoa industry is clearly important to the economy of the islands, as it sustains 40,000 farmers, employs 350,000 people, and earned the country $261 million. The Dominican Republic has historically been known for 2 different types of cocoa: a buttery, cheaper product known as Sanchez, and a drier, better fermented bean called Hispaniola. The island is aimed to considerably increase its cocoa yields, and in the last decade have grown their cocoa exports by 322% and aim to triple it by 2027. Number 8. Peru, 121,825 tons per annum. Peru is a country in western South America, bordered in the north by Ecuador and Colombia, in the east by Brazil and the southeast by Bolivia, to the south by Chile, and in the west by the Pacific Ocean. At 1.28 million square kilometers, Peru is the 19th largest country in the world, and the 3rd largest in South America. Cocoa most likely originated in the Amazon basin around Peru, and now Peruvian chocolate is considered to be some of the finest in the world. Peru produced a total of 128,825 tons of cocoa in the year 2017, and is seeing rapid growth each year. Over half of their cocoa exports are beans, with 20% being organic, and the rest is made up of post-processed products such as cocoa butter, liquor, powder, and husks. Cocoa plantations are spread throughout the country, with the main growing areas in La Convención and Lares, Hualaga, Apurimac-Ene, and Alto Marañón, all in the eastern Andes. Number 7. Ecuador, 205,955 tons per annum. Ecuador, officially the Republic of Ecuador, is a country northwestern South America, bordered by Colombia on the north, Peru on the east and south, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. The capital city is Quito, which is also its largest city and has a total population of 17.1 million people, living in an area of 283,561 square kilometers. Ecuador brings in a total GDP of about $106.289 billion, and some of it comes from cocoa. Ecuador's cocoa industry is one of the world's oldest in the Ecuadorian Amazon. Archaeologists recently discovered traces of cocoa in pottery more than 5,000 years old. More recently, Ecuador produced 205,955 tons of cocoa, which makes them the seventh largest cocoa producing country in the world and earning them $700 million to their economy. They are unique in that they are the only country that grows the Arriba and Antioquia varieties of cocoa, which are world renowned for their quality. Ecuador supplies more than 60% of the world's fine flavor cocoa, which is coveted among artisanal and bean-to-bar chocolate makers over the world. Number 6. Brazil, 235,809 tons per annum. Brazil, officially the Federative Republic of Brazil, is the largest country in both South America and Latin America. At 8.5 million square kilometers and with over 211 million people, Brazil is the world's fifth largest country by area and the sixth most populous. Brazil went from a cocoa production of 400,000 tons in the year 1990s to 160,000 tons in 2003. They have recovered slightly to 235,809 tons in 2017 and with a surge of new planting. Brazil's National Association of the Cocoa Processing Industry expects to nearly double production by 2028. Brazil famously grows cocoa in the state of Bahia, but also to a large extent in the Amazon basin and Espírito Santo. Even though the Brazilian government forecasts the Brazilian cocoa production will drop 15.7% between now and 2024, Brazil still remains the largest cocoa producer in the Americas, especially the Forastero variety. Number 5. Cameroon, 295,028 tons per annum. Cameroon is a country in Central Africa and home to nearly 25.2 million people, speaking over 250 native languages spread over its 475,442 square kilometers of land. West and Central Africa are by far the largest cocoa producing regions in the world, and Cameroon is the fourth largest producing country in these regions, with 295,028 tons. Cameroon's production of 295,028 tons is under threat from a crop of aging trees and a lack of new trees and sufficient land to start replanting. The sector is vitally important to the country as it is the second largest source of foreign currency and supplies jobs to over 600,000 people. The country's cocoa yields have been steadily increasing over the last few years, but not without issues. The country has been suffering from internal strife since 2016, particularly in the cocoa-producing Anglophone regions. This has led to cocoa farmers abandoning their plantations in order to escape the violence in these areas. Number 4. Nigeria, 328,263 tons per annum. Nigeria, officially the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is often referred to as a giant of Africa, owing to its large population and economy. With 206 million inhabitants, Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and the seventh most populous country in the world. Cocoa is the largest agricultural export for Nigeria, supporting 300,000 farmers and taking up 800,000 hectares of land. Nigeria produced 328,263 tons of cocoa, representing around 2% of the country's exports. The regions that predominantly grow cocoa include Ondo, Ogun, Osun, Oyo, and Ekiti, and they produce 60% of the country's total output. Nigeria used to be the second biggest producer of cocoa in the world pre-1970, but this declined with the discovery of large amounts of crude oil. The country has suffered heavily recently with the collapse in the price of oil and with the fact that they have old cocoa trees, aging farmers, low yields, and a lack of cocoa knowledge among farmers. Production in Nigeria has risen to around 420,000 tons, due in part to increased demand, investments in technology, and resources of land. Number 3. Indonesia, 659,776 tons per annum. Indonesia is a transcontinental country in Southeast Asia and Oceania with a surface area of 1,904,569 square kilometers. With over 267 million people, it is the world's fourth most populous country as well as the world's most populous Muslim majority country. The country has abundant natural resources like oil and natural gas, coal, tin, copper, gold, and nickel, while agriculture mainly produces rice, palm oil, tea, coffee, cocoa, medicinal plants, spices, and rubber. Indonesia expanded rapidly into the cocoa industry over the last few decades to become the third biggest cocoa producer in the world, despite the fact that they hardly grew cocoa before the 1980s. Indonesia produced 659,776 tons of cocoa, making it their third largest agricultural export. The country uses roughly 1.5 million hectares of land for the cultivation of cocoa, and about 75% of that production coming from the island of Sulawesi. The rest of their cocoa is grown in North Sumatra, West Java, Papua and East Kalimantan. Also, up to 85% of the country's cocoa is grown by small-scale farmers. However, the cocoa is a bit of a downturn, with production output shrinking over the last few years. This is due to aging trees, low productivity, low domestic consumption, and farmers switching to more profitable crops. Number 2. Ghana, 883,652 tons per annum. Cocoa is the main cash crop of Ghana, taking up an estimated 1.9 million hectares of land and supporting over 800,000 people that make a living out of the sector. Ghana is the second biggest cocoa producing country in the world with 883,652 tons, generating about $2 billion in foreign exchange annually, more than 70% of that being exported to Europe and America, and a quarter of it being processed within the country. They have announced plans to increase the local processing of their own beans to 50% with a partnership with China and the opening of a new $60 million worth factory. The Ghana Cocoa Board intends to significantly increase their cocoa production, despite the worldwide overproduction and the subsequent drop in price. However, this will be difficult to organize due to the fact that the majority of cocoa produced in Ghana is done by peasant farmers on small plots of land. Number 1. Ivory Coast, 2,034,000 tons per annum. Ivory Coast is a country located on the south coast of West Africa. This country's political capital is Yamoussoukro in the center of the country, while its economic capital and largest city is the port city of Abidjan. The country has a total population of 23.7 million people spread over 322,463 square kilometers of land. Ivory Coast is responsible for producing around 30% of the world's total supply of cocoa beans. The economy is fueled by most agriculture, bringing in per annum in GDP, part of which is made of the exports of cocoa. Revenue from cocoa is reckoned to account for around 70% of the country's $58.203 billion as GDP. The Ivory Coast supplies 30% of the world's total cocoa, leading to the rest of the world by over 500,000 metric tons, with a total crop of 1,448,992 tons production. The cocoa industry is by far hugely important to the economy of the country, as it accounts for 40.2% of its exports and income. It is a vital crop for the government and people of the country, with roughly 600,000 farmers and 6 million people relying on the industry to survive. The growth of this industry hasn't come without its struggles. They have had to deal with mass deforestation, weather-related problems, financial difficulties, and child labor. But the good news is that they have signed a pact with their neighbor, Ghana, to prevent any further deforestation for their cocoa industry and to improve the interests of the farmers. There you have it, explorers. Those were the top 10 cocoa producing countries in the world. Thanks for watching this video. If you want us to cover any of your top 10 topics, leave a suggestion in the comments and we will do well to grant your request. Also, if you did enjoy this video, do well to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.